Hey guys, so the Arnold UK is over. We had a great weekend over there in Birmingham. Really good fitness expo. Loads of amazing fans coming to watch, and the Strongman is becoming so popular now. It's almost, dare I say it, taking over.
I think there's no doubt that Strongman was the prominent event of that festival. The Strongmen were mobbed wherever they went. They were absolutely mobbed. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
It's great to see, because I've done expos at the NEC, which is where the Arnold's was for years. And I remember the first one going there, and the Strongmen just almost got ignored. We are here to talk about the Strongman show, and what a show it was.
Indeed. Now, there was a bit of confusion about this show. I think a lot of people thought it was the Arnold Strongman Classic happening in the UK, but that's actually run by the Arnolds, isn't it? Whereas this competition was run by Giants Live. So
this was a Giants Live show as part of the Fitness Expo.
Yeah.
So it wasn't an Arnold's qualifier or anything to do with the Arnold Classic that happens in Ohio. This was another Giants Live show. Great lineup. A few names that we haven't seen for a while, such as JF Caron coming back over.
Yeah.
You know, great to see him over. Trey Mitchell coming over. Really good to see Trey competing. Nedsmin did his first full Strongman show in a Giants Live. I said to him, "Oh, it's your first Giants Live full show?" He said, "No, I've done lots of competitions before." I said, "I know you've competed before, but it's your first full Giants Live," because he's done the deadlift twice now.
Yes.
But good to see him competing. And then some of the regular faces. Evan was there, obviously Alexei Novikov. Andy Black at his third Giants Live. He's doing very, very well. And I guess the controversial thing was the Stoltman brothers.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of comments online, and it's we can't ignore it because...
No, absolutely. And we shouldn't ignore it. I mean, they have had a busy year, those two. It's busy for everyone, and athletes do have to be selective about shows. Now, maybe it would have been better if they knew they weren't going to kind of push to just turn up and maybe a bit like Terry and myself do, come to the events, still be part of it.
Do the meet and greet.
And that's maybe something that the organisers and them can kind of discuss going forward, because they're such great guys. They're a huge attraction, and I've seen some kind of negative comments. To be honest, the boys were out in the crowd meeting fans, and people were going nuts to see them.
Yeah.
So I think it's great having them there.
Yeah, it's sad to see the negative comments, because I love those boys so much, and they really are great with the fans. But I do understand where the frustration comes from at the same time for people that specifically came to see them compete.
And I think it would be good to sometimes give some other guys, a chance.
Definitely.
Especially when there's a number of shows, and it's just, those two really, really want to win the British, which is only a few weeks away.
Yeah.
You think what Luke's done in the last few months. I mean, he's won Europe's, he went up in Glasgow, he won again. Your body's feeling it. He needs that little break to focus on still a few more big competitions to come. He's got the Rogue Invitational as well.
Yeah.
So 2 major shows for those guys. It's impossible to do everything. But yes, I get the frustration, and maybe it would have been nice to give someone else the opportunity to really peak and push for this event.
I wonder if it's like an internal pressure that the Stoltmans put on themselves, like they feel like they have to go. Because I don't think, I know I'm venturing into murky, scary, controversial waters now, but I don't think they're told you must do this competition.
No. I think they want to appear at every Giants Live show.
Yeah, but you can appear without competing, can't
Absolutely,
you?
yeah, and they're so good with the fans that I think people would understand.
And also, I think it would still be a sellout show without them, and that's not a slight on them at all. I think that there are so many, Strongman's never been just about 1 or 2 athletes. It's always been about, the event.
Well, I think the great thing is we have so many good characters now that people are starting to see
as well.
Yeah, and we want to see different guys getting different opportunities. But anyway, to the competition. With that being said, the Stoltmans both pulled out after the first event.
Yes, that's the point we were getting to.
Actually, I lied. Tom pulled out after the second event.
Yes. Hold on, I have to sneeze.
So the first event was the Hercules hold. Now, this is a weird one to see as the first event.
Yes.
because the athletes weren't really doing an awful lot of warming up beforehand, which is very strange at a strongman show. You know, you're used to seeing them warm up for overheads or deadlifts or whatever.
I saw a bit of band work.
Yeah, just trying to loosen up, stretching the fingers and
yeah, a bit of sort of flexing.
But obviously we had Mark Felix competing, and Mark didn't win the Hercules hold last time he competed.
No, at the Strongman Classic in the Royal Albert Hall.
He was beaten by Evan Singleton and Ian Bibby.
That's right, yeah.
So the man had something to prove.
Yeah.
And Mark, I'll tell you what, Mark in this show, wow.
He was leading for the first couple of events.
Honestly, Mark Felix is just an enigma. He's incredible.
Just when they write him off.
Yeah, well, he does this. Injured himself at the Royal Albert Hall and wasn't performing that well anyway. Didn't perform that well in Glasgow a few weeks ago.
No, but...
And then suddenly it gets to the Arnolds. He's had a great weekend meeting fans, and that seems to kind of ignite Mark. He really loves meeting the fans. He loves the support that you guys give him. Starts off on the Hercules hold, and there were some good times. There's a number of guys that went over a minute, but Mark Felix goes out there. No world record, but he does what he needs to do to get the win, taking first place with around 1 minute 20.
Yes.
So an excellent time on the Hercules hold.
And I think this was a really big event for Trey also, who's never done Hercules hold in competition, never even done it in training. He was doing it with cable cross.
Yeah, he said he used a cable machine to try and practice.
Which is a horrible way to do it because it just pumps up your forearms.
It's just not the same.
It's no.
And his grip has been a bit questionable in the past.
He struggled with farmers without straps and stuff like that in the past, so we weren't sure if this was damage limitation, but to come fourth behind Mark, Evan and JF.
Those three have some of the best grip, there is going. So
it was a great start for Trey.
Big performance by Trey. Slapped me around the face and kind of proved that he was there to
not literally, obviously. No, Trey's a very nice man.
He's a lovely guy. But really pleased to see Trey do well on that. Evan Singleton taking second place.
Yeah, not surprised at all, to be honest. Although he did well to beat JF because, that Canadian grip.
Well, I was talking to JF about this, and I feel the same as he does. I feel this Hercules hold isn't that heavy. I think it's one of those that you get to sort of 40, 50 seconds and your forearms just start to pump up.
Yeah.
Whereas someone like JF prefers the really, really heavy type grip events. I do as well. I prefer it when it's really heavy and you're doing it for like 30 to 40 seconds as opposed to trying to go over a minute.
So is this more like, with this setup then, is it more like a pain endurance kind of thing?
Yeah, it's your ability to cope with that lactic acid buildup that kind of starts in the forearms. And obviously it's grip strength as well. It's still heavy. When I say it's not heavy, I'm talking relatively.
Yeah.
We've lifted heavier things. That's all I'm saying. But all the guys in the top, I mean, Novikov, his improvement on grip.
Yeah, he's done very well.
He's getting better every time he does it. But the top three all have exceptional grips. And Mark Felix proves he is the man again when it comes to the Hercules hold. Moving into the frame carry, which I have never seen anyone move so fast in all my life on a frame.
So it was a slightly shorter course than normal. It was 18 metres just because of the reinforced stage. There was only a certain area where you could have two really heavy guys and two really heavy
have
frames.
it as an official record.
No, so it's not an official record.
But Alexi did this in like just over 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
And
he was running with it. It was insane. I mean, Andy did great who was up against him, but poor Andy, he must have felt like he was plodding.
Andy Black finished in 12 seconds, which is a great time.
Yeah.
But honestly, he looked slow in comparison. Novikov's speed on these type of events, just incredible. And this is, I was good at these type of events, but he is absolutely rapid. Very, very impressive.
Evan,
we knew he'd be good on these events. Evan, when it comes to moving, is very, very good. But even Evan, compared to Alexi, was off the mark,
Do you know who was a really, really pleasant surprise?
Who?
Mark.
Yes.
Mark was up against Evan in the final pairing, and I think he was 1 second
Felix
slower
was
than Evan.
awesome. Under 10 seconds for Felix. We haven't seen this kind of speed from Mark in years. How's he doing it? What's that man doing?
He's drinking from the fountain of youth. He's been back for another cup.
He was just on form over this weekend.
Yeah.
And it's great to see, because I do sometimes start to write Mark off. You think, he's not so good in that show. He's, dare I say it, sometimes you kind of say, is he being invited just for his Hercules hold?
Oh, God, you can't say that.
You know, but grip doesn't get affected by age.
No.
But speed does.
Haugen.
Well, speed and strength does, and he was keeping up with guys half his age.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
he was beating guys half his age.
It was just awesome to see. It's so good seeing Mark do well, and he's such a likeable character. It's always nice when you see him do well. So Alexei winning the frame carry, bringing himself back into contention. Moving on from the frame, we had this 360 kilo axle deadlift.
Big old wheels.
Now this is without question the most horrible 360 deadlift they have. They have two frames that they use in the two setups that they use at Giants Live. One is the globes, and then they have this railway type axle that they use this weekend. This one is 360. The globes are 350 normally. They can change the weights on them, but normally it's 350. The 350 globes feel a lot more comfortable. I don't know why, but they just do.
Surely it's something to do with the surface area, the fact that they're that much bigger.
You'd sometimes think that having more surface area kind of is harder to break the friction of the floor. But the axle, the axle or the railway axle that they used this weekend is set ever so slightly lower.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw when I went up on stage with Terry and we were looking at the axle. It was like, damn, that's low. You know, I know I've done it before, but when you're not in that kind of frame of mind, you just look at it. And I went and gave it a tug. I was like, that's not going anywhere.
I've got a photo somewhere. I was wearing high heels and I was trying to get down to the bar and I was only wearing a little dress and I genuinely couldn't get down to the bar.
Now everyone's going to want to see that photo.
I've got it. You're probably looking at it right now.
But it's a very, very difficult lift. We have seen guys pulling 425 kilos this year plus that struggle to get 3 reps.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
You know, I just, Paro Dwyer, you got Andy Black, we've seen Gav Bilton, guys that kind of have pulled big numbers and they're getting 2 or 3 reps on this axle. That shows you how hard it is.
Yeah.
Incredible performance by Novikov. I don't know where he just keeps... Because you watch Novikov warm up and you think, no, it didn't look that great.
His warm-ups sometimes look as hard as his competition performance.
His competition performance usually looks easier.
Wow. That was incredible. 8 reps. I never foresaw. I mean, Rauno has the record with 9.
Yeah, Rauno's an amazing deadlifter for reps, but, you know, guys like JF Caron, incredible deadlifter.
Yeah.
We know how good JF is. He got 5 reps.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a little bit tired from the jet lag and travelling, etc., but still, to get 8 reps... And let's remember, Novikov is improving. He didn't get 8 reps last time on this.
No.
He's getting better every time we see him.
He's tired and he's got a bit of a bad knee.
Yeah. Trey Mitchell as well, 7 reps. Trey has huge power off the floor on his deadlift, and you need that with this type of lift. A lot of the guys, they just struggle to get it off the floor, and Trey's just big, powerful. Yeah. He had to go first as well, which is never...
No, it's hard. You have to go all out, don't you?
But very, very impressive by Trey. But again, Novikov putting the burners on to catch up to Evan after the weaker, I guess, Hercules hold. And,
you know, we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that Evan did 6 reps, which is still amazing.
Absolutely. The whole performance was great by the guys. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone was performing well, strong lifts, but 7 and 8 reps on that setup, that is world-class deadlifting. So event 4 was a dumbbell press, 100 kilos or 220 pounds for repetitions. Doesn't sound that impressive because we see that kind of weight and more quite regularly.
But it's a horrible dumbbell, isn't it?
It's a horrible dumbbell. You speak to the guys, it's basically 2 small atlas stones inside a cage, and one thing a lot of the guys found is as you drop it or you bring it down, it kind of bounces all over the place, so it's a bit harder to predict where the dumbbell's going to go. Slows guys down a little.
You lose time, don't you? Because rather than just bring it straight down to where they want it again, it's
so we had 3 guys that didn't manage to get a rep in Felix, Andy Black and Nedsmin. Then we had Paro Dwyer was the first athlete to get any. He hit 3 reps, which was a good solid performance by Par.
Really interesting technique by Par. I don't know if you've noticed. He has his elbow really high and bent, but
almost dips under it.
Yeah, it works for him though.
Yeah, he's getting not as he's almost using speed to get it up over.
Yeah, it's impressive though to see it go up because it just looks like such an uncomfortable position, but he makes it work.
And then we had Trey Mitchell and JF Curran both hitting 6 reps, which is good. We've seen some big performances from both those men on dumbbell recently in terms of the Shaw Classic, both scoring really well there. But the two guys we expected to come out on top, Evan Singleton, who got 7 reps, and Novikov, who got 8 reps. Both of these guys, two of the best on the planet when it comes to the dumbbell. It's becoming quite cool seeing these guys battle it out with each other.
Yeah, this is a good little, not war, but rivalry. That's the word, rivalry. War's a bit much.
It's really good. I mean, but one thing that was impressive was to see Novikov come back into this contest. You know, he ended up going into the Stones in first place after those 3 wins.
Yeah.
And
this was where another wow, in some people's minds, I think the opinion is quite split between fans of what they think is a fair way to do things when there's a tie on points. But we'll get to that. Let's talk about Stones.
We'll talk about the Stones. 5 Stones from 100 kilos up to 180 kilos, or just shy of 400 pounds, the last one. And in pro level strongman, that's relatively light these days.
All the guys can do that, can't they?
And all of them did. Every single athlete finished all 5 stones. The fastest was Andy Black. Andy Black proving why he deserves these opportunities. He's still got a few things he needs to work on, and I'm friends with Andy. I speak to him. He totally understands that. But he's getting very, very good at certain movements.
And he's getting experience now as well. Andy's going to be in a couple of years' time.
Do you remember the first Giants Live he did earlier this year? How nervous he was.
Manchester,
he's looking a lot more relaxed now in the competitions.
Yeah, he's a lot more chill.
He genuinely feels like he believes he deserves to be there. You see that in him. The confidence is growing every time. Stone performance was unbelievable, and other than his pressing, which he knows he needs probably 2 more years working.
How good was your pressing 2 years after joining a gym?
I was no way near Andy's level at 2 years into
and
training.
Then you ended up breaking at one point the Axel
at the British record and Axel world record,
205 kilos. So
and he's got the frame. When we give him a bit more gym time to fill out that frame.
Fill out that frame is almost a ridiculous thing to say, but I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? He's not like huge in the shoulders and
when
arms.
I first met you, you didn't have these massive traps and stuff. You were a bit... No.
Down.
I'm about to get complimentary. What I mean is,
Yes, it takes time to...
Andy reminds me, he's like a bigger version of what you used to be.
Yes, I think someone said he looked like a young Loz.
Someone came over, and I don't know if they knew that it was Andy, but they came over for a photo with me and Andy together, and I don't know...
Loz has grown.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I'm Uncle Loz.
But Andy, I've got so much time for him, and I think give him a year or two, he's going to
be really good.
I mean, he's already good.
Yeah.
But he's going to be dangerous, you know.
We'll keep being nice to him, I guess.
He's got a good head on him. He's kind of screwed on well. He's not trying to... And it sounds stupid. He's not trying to rush things. Yet he's developing faster than anyone. I think, is it Neil Pickup says he's a weirdo.
Yeah. All right, weirdo.
And it's true. I mean...
And it's true.
When people talk about genetics, to be good at something, he's just blessed to be good at strongman.
He's a perfect example of exactly what those people are talking about. Yeah,
he's just...
Give him the time, the gym training and the experience, and that guy is wow. Like people talk about...
He can go as far as he wants to. It's, you know, when you're that talented, sometimes it's hard to push yourself.
Yeah.
But I think if he's determined and he, you know, takes his time and keeps improving, he could go as far as he wants.
I see a lot of comments online saying things like, you know, Mateusz and Tom and all these, they're the future. They are the here and now. These are the guys winning competition right now. People like Andy are the future. Yeah. You know, I always get a little bit confused because I think, well, they've been in the sport for about 6 years. Do you know what I mean? Like,
they've won all these major shows.
Yeah, not everyone has a career that spans like a Zadrunas or a Brian Shaw, for example. So
I think, as we've said many times, we're in an exciting time with so many great athletes, 2 of which ended up topping the podium this weekend.
With the exact same points. So it was JF's doing. JF got in between
them.
Evan and...
so let me read out some of these times on the stones between the top guys. So Andy Black taking the win with 5 stones in 18.28 seconds. He had Trey Mitchell coming second in 18.41 seconds. Evan Singleton third in 19.44. And then you had JF Caron, 19.6, and Alexei with 20.55.
So 2 seconds separating, what was that, 5 guys you just called out?
Yes.
6 guys? I think they should use the heavier stones.
I really do. And this is the kind of issue I have with stones being the decider. So I love Evan, really happy that he got the win.
Yeah.
Strongman used to go on countback, which would be who won the most events if guys were tied. Now you've got a very consistent performance from Evan. He's not won a single event though.
No.
Very good consistent performance, and that's what Strongman's about.
He hasn't dropped many points either, yeah.
Alexei has won 3 events.
Yeah.
And on events like the deadlift, the 360 deadlift is exceptionally heavy. That's, a real heavy event. He's won that by quite a bit, to be honest. I mean, ahead of other athletes. His frame carry was unbelievable. That was, against anyone in the world, that's coming first.
Oh, yeah.
There's really not many guys. You could think maybe Kiliashkovsky, but there's no guarantee.
No.
His dumbbell is supreme. The 180 set of stones, it's not the hardest set of stones in the world. I don't know many top-level strongmen that couldn't finish that.
My biggest issue is not really the fact that they've moved away from countback, because I do understand the argument that you could say, well, actually, though, Evan didn't drop the same points in the same way that Alexei did, and that's a valid argument, I guess. My main issue is that stones, again, why and when did stones become the deciding factor for everything? We already have it at the end of every single competition. We already have the godforsaken stone off at World's Strongest Man that I'm a big fan of. And now, with knowing that stones will be the last event, it falls to stones again. And I don't think one event in a sport with dozens,
of events,
100 different events that you could throw in, one should hold so much power. I just don't like it.
I agree. I think, this is my opinion.
Strongman, not Stoneman.
Yeah, I know lots of people. I love stones. I love the traditional kind of Scottish stones, trying different things. I'm just a bit bored of the Atlas stones.
Yeah. I just don't think one event should be the be-all and end-all.
We kind of have this argument that, with strongmen, it's not powerlifting. Powerlifting is just 3 lifts. Well, strongman is becoming, stones in every competition. And when you think there's only 5 events in a lot of these shows, and they change a lot of the other events, stones is always there. I'd like to see something else. That's all.
Do you know what I would like? Okay, keep your stones as your last event. We're tied on points. Let's have a tiebreaker.
But
not
cool.
Stones.
I mean, even if you did do a stone and you did a tiebreaker,
stone over bar, back
something
and forth.
like that.
At least, I think that's the fairest way.
The other thing is, it needs to be a heavier set of stones. I think. Yeah. I think the Shaw Classic got the weight pretty bang on in terms of a stone run. What
do you think would be the fairest tiebreaker that doesn't? Oh. It's so hard, isn't it? Because everyone has natural talents.
It's like looking at football and penalty shootouts and stuff. Is that the fairest way to decide it? I guess.
Think of something that. Try and think. Something that wouldn't have, because I don't think it should be something like a forward hold or anything
if you look at Trey Mitchell and JF Caron, they both beat each other on 2 events, and then they tied on an event.
Yeah.
So I don't mind in that sense the stones being the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Because you're level on everything.
Yeah.
Then the stones can decide. But for Novikov and Singleton,
they had quite a different experience throughout the competition.
3 wins, 3 outright wins in the competition for Novikov. That's probably tough to take.
And Evan had 3 second places. Yeah.
Great consistency. Yep, he's Evan's been
3 second place, a third, and a fourth.
So that consistency, which is important in strongman, we say that a lot. You don't necessarily have to win every event. You need that consistency. But it's a good argument.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. So don't get mad. Don't take my word as gospel.
We would like just to hear your kind of opinions really on what you think. How do you think they should be decided? Do you think the stones is a little bit too light? I understand why they're doing it, because they don't want to kill the guys.
They're trying to protect the athletes. Yeah.
But when you see every single guy put in a pretty solid time on the stones,
and when you see 2 seconds separate the top 5 or 6,
as opposed to some of the events in there which were genuinely hard, and heavy, it's just sometimes getting that balance right, I think.
Yeah.
That being said, incredible competition. Really good to watch.
And congratulations to Evan.
Massive congratulations to Evan. It's his second Giants Live win this year.
It is, yes.
Third big win in total for him now in his career, and
he's on fire.
It's a relatively short career so far.
And that's his last competition this year as well. So he's not doing it well.
He's going away to hide and train for World's Strongest Man.
Yeah. So it'd be very interesting to see what he brings after a nice long break also. So
yeah, but again, awesome show. Great to see Mark Felix doing so well, finishing in 5th place.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
JF Karan ended up 4th, Trey Mitchell 3rd, Novikov 2nd, Evan Singleton taking the win. I hope you guys have enjoyed our recap.
Yes, you can still watch the full competition also if you sign up to either Official Strongman or you go on the Facebook events. It's all there available to watch back. And you can also watch our super cool behind the scenes video.
Cool.
That can't be the end.
Oh, why not?
Well, we need a strong closing.
Okay.
Something about awesome strength content.
It says that when you put the thing in.
All right, we won't bother then. Right, just wave.
While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.